Before we start, I wanted to make sure that I thank the fans. It gave me chills walking out hand in hand with our guys and seeing the fans, and just very appreciative to them because it was a big deal for our coaches, our players, the administration, for everybody to see that our stadium can be packed again, and just wanted to thank them. So I appreciate it, guys.
Hey, Sean.
What's up, Chris?
Chris Carbon, Son of a Source. After watching the game again, the defensive issues with the explosives and third downs,
Yep.
What were your sort of takeaways from that as far as like what you guys might be able to do to get some of those things?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. 82% on conversions, 14 explosives. They threw the ball 3 times in the second half. Not really good. I think our guys were trying to do more than they should and not doing their job. The run fits, they were surpassing their run fits, and then they weren't doing the job once they wrapped up. And so we gotta clean all of that up. Is either put somebody else in the box or an extra person in the box, or making sure we do our jobs. I didn't think we did our jobs. Now, did they play hard? Yes. They saw the offense scoring back to back in the third and fourth quarters, and I think they're trying to make plays instead of just doing their job.
So what are the types of conversations that you're having with Donnie or the coaches in the front seven, kind of after something like that?
As expected, we were thin, so that we knew we were going to struggle up there, and we'll be healthy this week. But the conversation is we need to make a change. We need to make sure that this is addressed. I got with the defensive staff yesterday and understood that they have my attention in regards to things that need to be done. And we need to make sure that we're aggressive and we're taking it to them. I just thought that UCLA dictated to us. Now, again, number one is a heck of an athlete, and that's it's tough for us to cover that guy because he's that extra guy. But we need to make sure that we stop the run, and that's a whole conversation that we had.
Hey, Coach. No Furtado, Son of a Source. So on the offensive side of the ball, there were some positives, obviously, especially in the second half. Xavier Valade finished with 10 catches, 80-some-odd yards. What was it like to sort of get him more involved in that respect? I thought their linebackers were quick to drop and turn their back, and so I wanted to make sure that we took advantage of that. I thought, it's difficult from a quarterback when there's bullets flying at you, and we're in third and long situations, and he's waiting for the deeper cuts. And then when you have people in your face, then a check down becomes a possible instead of taking a sack. And so I think that accumulated to a bunch of his catches too. I'll put my money on X with the ball in his hand against one-on-one outside, and he'll always come out with a positive gain. But the 10 catches were both of that. Schematically, we schemed that, and also just check downs. And with Trenton, on paper at least, it looks like he had a great performance, right? Just from what you saw looking back at the film, how would you evaluate him? I
thought he had a good performance. In the second quarter, I said, and I told the team that was my fault, not getting ahead of the chains. We missed a couple throws that I thought early in the second quarter, and then our guys got back in a rhythm. And I say myself got back in a rhythm too. And I know how these guys want to play and what is most successful, so I'll stay with that as well. But in the second quarter, I took the blame for not getting us in a position when we had 2 3 and outs. Not putting them in the position to be successful. So that won't, I make sure I evaluate myself too and self-scout myself too.
Ethan Ryder, Sun Devil Source. You talk about kind of you weren't quite in your groove the second quarter. What do you think you've learned so far as a play caller just at the college level? You have to play towards your personnel and again, trying to get the ball to your playmakers and try to do that as well. Making sure that our guys are in the rhythm. Sometimes I felt I was too methodical in trying to schematically beat what they had out there instead of just playing with my feel and gut. I knew that I was going to be aggressive. No matter what, on fourth down, I'm going to be aggressive. That's just the way
call it, and on 2-point plays too. And so they understand that. So we got to put ourselves. Sometimes it's sequencing calls, sequencing third downs in order to understand that I'm going to go on a fourth down and make gambling calls, but we have nothing to lose. We're going to go and try to win the football game.
And how would you evaluate your success so far as a play caller? I know it's only been a couple games, but from your perspective, how do you feel like you've done in terms of what you expected from yourself?
I think our kids done pretty well with the change. Anybody can just call the plays, but I think they have confidence in what I'm calling, but the kids go and execute it. So I put all the emphasis on them and them executing what needs to be done. So I don't think it's the play caller. I think it's the kids executing those plays.
Hey, Coach.
Hello.
Julia Lopez from 3TV and CBS 5. Just what's the demeanor like knowing that there's 3 games left in the regular season and obviously you have to win out, but just focusing on the next game? How do you get the guys just focusing on Washington State?
Again, we go back to making sure that they playing hard. Yesterday when they came in for their lift on a Sunday, I do the same thing. I go down and hug every single one of them, and we get them back. Their energy was still there. They understand how close we are. In every single game that we've played competitive all the way to the end. And they understand where we are, and we have to make sure that we take care of our side of it. But they came back Sunday. They're already prepared. We had our family dinner last night, and so when we come back on Tuesday, we'll be out there getting prepared for Washington State. And they understand it's going to be cold and miserable, but that's just the way it is. But we're going to be ready to play.
How do you mentally prepare for that? Obviously, does it change the game plan a little bit because it is going to be a high of 36, low of 21?
Yeah, and it's not snowing, it's not raining, so it's just going to be a little frigid. I'm going to be probably bundled up out there, but not bring it up to them. We're just going to go out and take care of business. So however you want to dress and feel comfortable, but I won't bring it up at all during the week.
Teo Mackey, Arizona Republic. Following up on Trenton, how have you seen him grow since you named him the starter?
He's done a heck of a job in regards to people pressuring him too. He's making the checkoffs on pressure, and he's moving in the pocket slightly to avoid that head-on pressure. He got hit a couple of times. He bounced back. He's a tough guy, but overall, I think he's done a great job delivering the football. His percentage, he's at 78%. I think the last game, I think he was 76, the one. If you can have a quarterback in that 75% range, I'd take that all day. But he has done a heck of a job preparing, and I think he can get better and better. Of course, you get after him because he missed a couple of throws, but that's just a couple of throws, and he gets it. When he makes the bad throw, he internalizes that, and so. I think he's done an incredible job.
You mentioned the checkdowns to Valladay. Is that part of the growth of learning how to deal with pressure and just check down to your running back?
Absolutely. That's managing the game, not forcing things. I think he does a great job not forcing things. Now, he threw that interception at the end of the game, but that's something that, we got to go in and go get. But other than that, he's managed the game well. He's taken what they've given us, and he's done well. Now, he's also taking shots down the field and put the ball in the right places. But if you see from an anticipation standpoint, Badger makes a one-handed grab. That ball was out after the cut was made. Right when the cut was made. And so he puts a good soft ball out there for our receivers to catch.
Hey, Coach. Jake Seymour,
Hey, Jake.
Bronchi Sports. Looking back on the film, what was your evaluation of the offensive line dealing with some of the pressure UCLA had?
I think they did a good job. I think it is a combination of a couple of things. They're battling out there. And the other thing is we're trying to get rid of the ball quick. And so that helps them a ton. And so even on our longer downs, the third and long downs, we're trying to still get the ball out quick and not taking those 5-7 step drops just because that puts us at a disadvantage with those guys coming off the edges. And so I thought they've done a great job, handling the twists and pressures inside. Of course, they're not perfect, but they have done a good job in the last couple games with Trenton behind there.
Yeah, Sean, you mentioned earlier feeling like you'll be healthier this week. Just kind of wanted an update on that because Nesta seemed limited. Omar didn't play. Didn't have Ladarius. So, kind of where you at?
Ladarius, we'll find out if he can go this week. The other two, they've battled their sickness. They should be ready to go on Tuesday. There's still a couple of people all around not feeling as well, little bumps and bruises, but overall, our health sheet came back from our trainer really good. And in my operations meeting this morning, I was surprised about everybody being healthy. Again, you never know when that hits you last Thursday and Friday, and I'm in the hotel. I go, oh gosh, please, nobody go to the infirmary, because that's not good news when everybody comes out of it. But as of right now, we should be pretty healthy, Chris.
Hey, Coach, Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. Looking ahead to Washington State, coming off a big win against Stanford, played Utah tough a couple weeks ago. Just what are your first impressions of them breaking down the
field? They're a stingy defense. They're a very stingy defense. They fit well in the run game. They bring pressure, and they bring all sorts of pressure up front, and you have to manage that in the pass game. And so our guys have been here from last night and in early trying to figure that out. But they're playing really good defense there. And their head coach has been a defensive guy, so I think the emphasis is on the defensive side. But and then on the offense, they ran the ball well against Stanford. So we have our job cut out for us this week. But we're just going to go back and plan and get these guys ready to go.
Coach, obviously the interception on the first play of the game, very good. And turnovers are some of those things I've talked to you throughout the years that kind of just start to seem coming in bunches. I mean, are the things you see defensively that they're just becoming more opportunistic on overall as a unit?
Yeah, I think, a couple of plays, a couple of big hits that caused those fumbles. One just so happens popped up right into number one's hand, and he runs. I mean, sometimes there's luck, but our guys are trying to get to the ball. I thought Chris Edmonds did break on the ball real well on that first one, and that got us going. And we should have capitalized. Anytime we had to go kick a field goal for 3, I get disappointed because we should have capitalized that. But our guys are trying, and we understand that being in the plus side of the turnovers is a huge advantage. Like I said before, when you're in the plus side, it's 72% win. If you're plus 2, we're in the 82%, and so all of those percentages go up all the time, and we need those turnovers.